Hey Calianites, welcome back to Raikuzin Games video. In today's episode, I will be discussing how I managed to save 113 million Calanites. So with that, I guess there's two parts to it. The income side, how I've been managing to farm that, and the expense side, so how I've been managing to use my cows more efficiently, I guess. So yeah, with that, let's get into the video. When we start talking about revenue or how to best generate the most Calanites, the only place I can think of is the Lair. So within the Lair, there's 3 chimeras. Each of the chimeras have different drops, including different rune types and quartz. So you can see Unity, that one was Prayer, and this one is Conflict. And each of these runes sell significantly more than what you'd get in the dungeons between your Hydras, your Colossus, and your Leviathan. So I'm going to show you how much of a difference that is. So it wouldn't be a Raikuzin Games video if I didn't add an infograph. These things take me forever to do, so I hope that you're liking and subscribing to my videos because this is some effort, man, honestly. But anyways, I've created this graph to illustrate my point, even though I probably could have done it on like a spreadsheet or something. Yeah, life. Okay, so top row is Colossus runes. These are the rune types. You got your Blessing, Agile, and Counter. Then you've got your Leviathan, your Hydra, and I couldn't find a picture of all 3 chimeras, so this one's meant to represent chimeras at the bottom there. And you can see what a rare rune sells for. And you can see what a hero sells for and a legend sells for. Keep note that these are approximate prices, right? What I've realized is that runes actually vary in prices depending on the substats and if they have a secondary stat, and maybe even slot, I think. I'm not too sure on that one. But yeah, so two blessing runes actually have a range of prices, but I chose something that was kind of in the middle-ish, kind of approximate, so that we get a I guess a picture of what it looks like when we put it down on paper. You can see that in Colossus it looks like counter runes actually sell the most, although I only got a sample size of 3 runes, so could have done a better job. But for the purpose of this, I couldn't fit any more. And that's probably the only reason why I didn't do more. And that I'm kind of can't be bothered. And then you can see here, Berserk, Focus, Leviathan sells a little bit more than your average rune in Colossus. And then Hydra is consistently more higher than your Leviathan or your Colossus runes. So you can quickly look at that. But then the massive jump happens when you look at Chimera. So a rare Chimera rune sells for about 30,000, right? Give or take. And then if you look at the legend runes of these other dungeons, it sells more than a legend rune. Like that's how much of a difference it is. And keep note that these are 6-star runes, yeah, on 0 upgrades, so they're like fresh runes. And I didn't include the quartz because I didn't have space, but whatever. This is just a quick snapshot to illustrate my point. Is that Chimera just earns you so much, it's crazy. But yeah, so this is what I guess a lot of the community has been have an issue with, because everyone's farming these guys, and obviously that's not going to give you the Calanites that you need to progress at the speed that a lot of people want. And CCG has come back and basically said we don't want to make Calanites readily available or easily farmable, because it is a grind game. And if everyone got everything easily, then they see the game just dying slowly, I guess, because part of the journey is actual overcoming certain challenges, and there's meant to be a progression line with you know, Colossus, Leviathan, and Hydra, and then endgame content is meant to be Lair. So you're not meant to have done this quite yet, but if you didn't know, there was a glitch a couple weeks ago, I think, and you could basically beat this with unruined monsters, and you know, it's like you just jump from 1 to 100 within the first month, and I don't think they had planned for that. But anyways, so each of the runs in Chimera is 8 energy, which is the same as the level 12 on each of the dungeons as well. So for the same amount of energy, you can get significantly more Calien-Knights, and that's why when you're between mid to end game, you should be looking to build a Lair team to really boost yourself. If not, there is a cheese way to do it still. If you use Cleopatra, a couple of jungle hearts, and an archmage as well, that could still work. But if not, you know, everyone's moving towards the holy swordsman team and druids and jungle hearts and things like that. Yeah. So there's a bunch of guides online. Check them out if you haven't. You know, free to play, Foie, all those guys have done stuff like that. So give those guys a quick look, and yeah. So the other side to that is, I guess, you know, I did put the hours into it. It wasn't just an accident that, you know, I just came up with 113 mil. So I did, you know, grind daily for hours on end. Okay, so moving on to rune management. I think rune management is quite important as well, because I didn't want to waste Calanites on just junk stuff, right? So see what I've done here in my collection. I've got a bunch of runes that's just left at +6. Some are at +3. Some are at +9, and that's because what you want to do is, say this rune, right? It's an agile rune with with 5 base stat speed. And what I would do is I would tease it. So I would go to +3 and +6 to see if it lands on speed. It did land on speed, and then you need to calculate, you know, what's the next roll. If I get it on speed, a max roll is 6 speed for a 6-star rune, right? So it has the potential to be a +15 speed or slot 1, which isn't bad. If it goes to defense, oh, it actually rolled to that. So this is a pretty decent rune. You know, I've got subs faster than this already, but it's kind of nice. After you put, say, your quartz on it, +3 quartz, that could be an 18 rune on slot 1, which is quite nice, right? And I guess this is how you decide what runes to keep as well. And also you don't, you know, use too much of your cal. See there, it went to hit. I don't want hit, and the max roll, if I do +6, is going to be 10, and that's not good enough for me. So I'm just going to sell there instead of going all the way to +6 and wasting a bunch of Calanites on a rune that I'm not going to be happy with. And I would do this for each of the runes that I deem has potential. That's a sell. So with a rune like this, it's a legendary agile 6-slot attack. No speed sub. So my plan is I want everything on, I don't know, maybe this HP flat, and then I can use one of those things to change it. Use locks to change it and get an ideal roll. Otherwise, I want it all in crit damage. Okay, so I got the first roll in HP. So I need the second roll in HP. I didn't get it, it went to resistance. And from there, I'd stop, because I'm like, yeah, not really interested anymore. In addition to that, there's actually a cheat that you can use, but I don't recommend it. So this is the cheat right here, the Calianite pack. I'm playing with you, man. Don't buy this pack. It's like the worst pack out of all of them. I know it seems like, you know, you feel like you're really desperate for some cows, but it's just not worth it, I'm telling you. 4.5 mil, that's 1 day's worth of farming, you know? So why? Like, why would you do that? I don't know. And the other thing is I min-max my runes. What that means is I do the minimum to try get the maximum. So I only plus 15 runes, that's 2, 4, 6 slots, and I leave 1, 3, 5 as plus 12 because that's when you get the last upgrade on your subs. And this, you know, saves you significant amount of Calianites, even though I know in Thanatos that you do get better placement if your runes are maxed. So I guess maybe some of you guys are wondering why I even bothered to do this, and my answer is because I wanted to. There's actually no good reason for me to do this. It's actually counterproductive because with that 113 million, I could be upgrading a lot of runes and putting it on my spare units, and that way when I do Thanatos, I could be ranking much higher and getting points much higher. But I've just been really lazy, I guess. I don't know, I just wanted to do it. And I believe if you max out your slots 1, 3, 5 in your what's it called, Apex team, you'll actually, you know, do much better than the other person who hasn't maxed their entire rune set as well. So I've kind of put myself at a disadvantage, but I did it for the fun, I did it for the lols, and I did it for the views. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got, guys. So if you enjoyed this video, as usual, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell me in the comments below what is the highest amount of Calanites that you managed to get in this game. And with that, guys, I will see you next time. Peace.